If you're running Azure ExpressRoute in a major metro area and paying for data egress, you're literally throwing money away. I just helped a client cut their ExpressRoute bill by 60%, and the fix took less than 5 minutes.
Wait, 60%? That's huge. What were they doing wrong?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Network Ninja Cloudcast. I'm your host, and with me today is my favorite cloud-curious developer.
Hey everyone. I'm excited because I've been getting hit with some unexpected Azure networking bills lately.
Perfect timing then, because today we're diving into ExpressRoute Local SKU and why it might be the best-kept secret for cost optimization.
Okay, so I know ExpressRoute is Azure's dedicated private connection, like a direct highway to the cloud instead of going over the public internet. But what's this local SKU thing?
Great question. So Microsoft offers 3 ExpressRoute SKUs: Local, Standard, and Premium. Most people default to Standard because that's what the tutorials show. But here's the thing. With Standard and Premium SKUs using metered billing, you pay for every gigabyte of data leaving Azure. For Zone 1, which covers most US and European locations, we're talking about 2.5 cents per gigabyte. That might not sound like much, but it adds up fast.
2.5 cents per gig doesn't sound terrible, but I guess it adds up.
Let's do the math. Say you're transferring 50 terabytes a month, which isn't unusual for data-heavy workloads. At 2.5 cents per gig, that's roughly $1,250 just in egress fees, on top of your circuit costs. Now, with the local SKU, egress to your local Azure region is completely free. $0. Unlimited data transfer.
Hold on. Unlimited free egress? What's the catch?
The catch is geographic. Local SKU only works if your ExpressRoute circuit is at a peering location in the same metro region as your Azure resources. Think of it like a local phone call versus long distance. Remember when long distance calls cost extra? Local SKU is like saying, if you're calling within your city, it's free.
That analogy makes sense, but let me make sure I understand the technical side. So if my Azure resources are in the East US region, I need my ExpressRoute circuit at a peering location that's considered local to East US?
Exactly right. For East US, the local peering locations include Washington, D.C., which is physically located in Ashburn, Virginia, and New York. Microsoft publishes the full mapping in their ExpressRoute documentation under ExpressRoute peering locations and connectivity partners. I always recommend checking that documentation directly since these mappings can be updated.
What happens if I pick the wrong peering location? Like if my resources are in East US but my circuit is in Chicago?
Then you can't use local SKU for that circuit. You'd have to use Standard or Premium, and you're back to paying egress fees. This is the mistake I see constantly. Companies set up ExpressRoute through whatever peering location their network provider suggests, without checking if it qualifies for local SKU.
So the first step is literally checking Microsoft's documentation to match your Azure region with the right peering location?
Exactly. And here's a pro tip. When you're in the Azure portal creating an ExpressRoute circuit, you select the peering location first, then the SKU. If local SKU is grayed out, that peering location doesn't support it for your target region. The portal actually prevents you from making that mistake, but only if you're paying attention.
Okay, what about bandwidth? Does local SKU have different pricing there too?
Great segue. Let me clarify something important here. Standard and Premium SKUs have 2 billing models, metered and unlimited. With metered, you pay a lower monthly circuit fee but then pay per gigabyte for egress. With unlimited, you pay a higher monthly fee but egress is included. Local SKU is different. It has a single billing model with unlimited egress to the local region baked right in. That's its defining characteristic.
Got it. So local SKU is inherently unlimited for local traffic. What about bandwidth tiers?
Local SKU supports a wide range of bandwidth options. Through connectivity providers, you can get circuits ranging from 50 megabits per second all the way up to 10 gigabits per second, with common tiers at 50 megabits per second, 100 megabits per second, 200 megabits per second, 500 megabits per second, 1 gigabit per second, 2 gigabits per second, 5 gigabits per second, and 10 gigabits per second. If you need even more bandwidth, ExpressRoute Direct supports local SKU at speeds up to 100 gigabits per second.
So if I'm doing the math, how does the pricing actually compare between local and standard?
Here's where local SKU really shines. A 1 gigabit per second local SKU circuit runs around $40 to $50 per month, depending on your region. Compare that to standard unlimited at 1 gigabit per second, which is over $400 per month. That's a massive difference. Always check the Azure pricing calculator for current rates in your specific region, but local SKU is significantly cheaper when it fits your use case.
Wow, that's way cheaper than I expected. What's the biggest mistake you see people make with this?
Two things. First, not checking if their workload qualifies. Local SKU only covers traffic to the local Azure region. If you need to reach multiple Azure regions, you need standard or premium SKU for that global reach. Second mistake is forgetting about ingress versus egress. Ingress, data going into Azure, is always free regardless of SKU. Local SKU's benefit is specifically about egress, data leaving Azure to your on-premises network.
What about other regions? Like if I'm on the West Coast?
Good question, and this is where you really need to check the documentation carefully. Each Azure region has specific peering locations that qualify for local SKU, and the mappings are precise. For example, West US and West US2 have different local peering locations. Don't assume. Always verify against Microsoft's official ExpressRoute locations documentation before you provision anything.
Let me recap to make sure I've got this. Local SKU gives me unlimited free egress to the local Azure region, but only if my ExpressRoute peering location is in the same metro as my Azure region. I need to check Microsoft's documentation for the specific mappings, and it only covers traffic to that one local region, not global connectivity.
Perfect summary. And one final tip. You can actually have multiple ExpressRoute circuits. Some companies use a local SKU circuit for their high bandwidth local traffic and a standard SKU circuit for reaching other regions. You route traffic appropriately using BGP weights or AS path prepending.
That's clever. Use the right tool for each job instead of overpaying for one circuit that does everything.
Exactly. That's it for today's episode. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
And share this with anyone who's paying too much for their Azure networking.
Thanks for watching the Network Ninja Cloudcast. See you in the next one.